DSX is built to work in a variety of conditions, including cover crops, into pasture, general no-till, high residue situations, and into minimum tillage, giving the farmer the ability to use it in most of the situations they're going to face. It's also a very modular design, and the machine up behind me here is a 6 metre with 18 centimetre spacings on the openers. We also have different row spacings available, and the modularity of the machine means that you can also add a variety of features such as increasing the width, adding liquid fertilizer systems, row cleaning capabilities, multiple hoppers, and positioning of commodities into different openers to drill seeds at different depths, which answers a lot of the both conventional agriculture and bi-cropping, companion cropping, cover cropping, etc., etc. The liquid fertilizer system, which is factory fitted, which is exclusive to Horizon, gives the ability to accurately place fertilizer in furrow behind a disc opener. With today's prices and pressures on fertilizer, this offers a considerable saving and benefits with the drill.
So today I want to talk to you about the Coulter on the DSX. When the Horizon team were developing this Coulter, there's 3 challenges for no-till disc drills that they wanted to overcome. Firstly, how we manage trash, how we penetrate the soil and cut into the soil, and finally how we close at the back. So I'll go through those individually now. Hairpinning and trash can be a problem for no-till disc drills, so that's why we have the opportunity to offer row cleaners on the front. So these row cleaners are fantastic. Historically, a row cleaner can be quite a challenge to get set correctly. If you imagine on this 6 metre drill we have 32 coulters. If every one of these was on a pin or a spring, it would be quite challenging to set. So that's why we have this double acting air cylinder, which is controlled in the cab, which allows us to use a row cleaner, very quickly adjust it, get it dialed into the right position where we're moving chop straw out of the way, but we're not moving the soil or stalling in the soil. So these row cleaners are fantastic. Typically where farmers would use those is when they're running straight behind the combine into chop straw. So if you're doing a lot of shallow seeding in the summer, perhaps oilseed rape, cover crops, that's when these row cleaners come in really handy. The second thing I want to talk about is the Coulter and the seeding part of the Coulter. Firstly, the Coulter is on a parallelogram. Every Coulter has a parallelogram that has 32 centimetres of travel in it. We've got hydraulic downforce in here. Typically we can go up to about 300 kgs on the hydraulic downforce. That depends on how heavy the drill is, divided by how many coulters we have. But we can pressurise that up, and then we've got the disc here. The reason for the parallelogram is it gives us very, very accurate seed placement and contour following level with the ground. It also allows us to run a row cleaner because this whole unit is running parallel with the ground. So if the Coulter needs to go up, the row cleaner and the closing on the rear come up exactly the same. Now we're going to have a look at the disc, and we'll have a look at what it's doing in the soil. So the disc on the DSX is an undercut disc. We're running at 10 degrees from vertical and 7 degrees front to back. There are a couple of benefits on why we're having the undercut. Firstly, the undercut is fantastic for helping us to penetrate into hard, heavy soil. So when conditions get really dry in the summer and hard, or in the spring when you've got to break through a crust and get to some moisture, the DSX is fantastic at penetrating very heavy soil, simply because it pulls itself in the ground. Also, our depth control is right next to the disc and point of seeding. So our gauge wheel here is what's controlling the depth and dictating where we go, and we adjust that very simply here on that depth adjuster. On the Coulter, we run a D-cup diffuser. These are fantastic because they take 100% of the air out of the air hose, which means we're running with gravity down to the seeding zone. The reason for this is because seed bounce can be an issue for no-till disc drills. So we take all the air out of the airflow, which means gravity is just dropping the seed into the furrow. This allows us to run the drill without any seed firmers or seed firming wheels, which can typically get blocked up with trash and aren't particularly fantastic in wet conditions. If you have a look at what we're doing in the soil, the disc has come in at a 10-degree undercut, and it is cut into the soil as you can see there. This sidewall here has been fractured by the disc, so you can see how it's gone in under there and fractured that soil. which allows the closing wheel to very easily put that soil back over the seed. The seed will be at the bottom of our channel, and then the closing wheel comes in and covers that back up. Here you'll see the air bags on the back. All our closing wheels are pneumatically adjusted in the cab, so we can very quickly adjust the closing in a matter of seconds. If it's really hard heavy land or if it's light soil, we can adjust it. We can put up to about 70 kilos through these closing wheels, which is a lot. We can run them with no pressure. We can even pin them up out underground. If you were doing beans and it was very late on and you were drilling deep, perhaps you would want to do that. You will see on the closing wheel that we run a spiked steel wheel. These are fantastic on heavy conditions and also very dry conditions. We have the option to change this for a rubber wheel, which if you're on very light sandy soil, or perhaps if you're running it a lot on cultivated land, might be more suitable. If you have a look at the closing and the job we're doing in the ground, we'll just see how well the drill is closed. So you can see here how well the closing wheel has got that soil back over the seed and close the channel off, so you can barely see where we have been with the drill. If I put my trowel into the channel and slide it along, this is the soil that we've got on top of the seed. I can move that out, and that's my seeding zones there. So if we were seeding today, I would have seed at the bottom of that channel, and it's completely closed off by the closing wheel.